welcome back to Cup Check, everybody. We're here with our keeper rankings 31 through 50. I'm excited for this one. Dawson, how we feeling?
Feeling good. We just pounded out some of our other videos, and we're ready to do our conclusion on the three-part series of the top 50 Dynasty keeper rankings. Me and Zach have put a lot of thought and effort into these rankings. Hopefully they age well, but we're confident with our rankings. Zach, you want to start us off here? Get us going?
I would love to. 31, I have Zach Wheeler. Who do you have?
I have Nolan Arenado. I got Nolan up there pretty high. But when I was thinking about it, I like Nolan, and I think he's got at least 2 or 3 solid years left in the tank.
Yeah, at least. I think he could have more than that. And Wheeler, I like him. You mentioned he's kind of off-brand DeGrom, and I would agree with that. He's got that kind of stuff. He's really good. So 32.
The positive on him over DeGrom is the consistency of innings. Zach Wheeler is an inning eater, and you can pencil him in to probably finish with the most innings in the league, if not close to it. Coming in at 32, I have Byron Buxton.
Wow.
My 31 through 50 is probably going to be a little controversial. I really just rank the guys that I think have the upside and I like the most highly. So I got Buxton up there pretty high. Last year, he basically gave you first round draft pick value for half the season or whatever he played. And I don't think the Twins are going to throw $100 million at a guy who they don't think can play a full season. So you get a full season out of Buxton, that's a first round value, if not late to middle second. So that's why I have Buxton so high.
Yeah, I like it. Around this range is when you can start taking risks on guys, and I think he's a good guy to take a risk on.
Yeah, and I would advise anyone to in the draft, if you're high on somebody, don't wait. If you go to draft a guy a round or 2 early, you always got to weigh that risk. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure you get the players that you believe in the most. And if you're on that back of the snake and you're not going to be picking for a while in the draft, sometimes you got to reach for the players you like, and you're not going to be able to win the league if you don't have players that you believe in. So go out and get the guys you want. Coming in at 33.
Hold on. My 32 is Shane Bieber.
My bad. All right.
Guys, I got Shane Bieber though. I know you're not as high on him, but I think he'll bounce back from this injury, and he's got filthy stuff. So
yeah, I'm probably a little lower on Bieber than what I should be. I mean, the dude's been dominant when he plays. I'm just at this point, I'm ready to take risks and kind of invest in players who I think have a little bit of a healthier track record. Coming in at 33, I have Olsen. This is a player who's getting a lot of little bit of rumblings that he might be getting moved from the A's to the Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees are favorites to get everybody, but if Olsen goes there with that lefty power swing, it's going to be filthy. Matt Olson put up some pretty fantastic numbers for being only, I think he's 27. So,
yeah, I like Olsen. 33, I have Marcus Simeon. I know he's a little bit on the older end, but the numbers he put up last year, and he should be playing second base in Texas. So really good value for a second baseman.
I agree completely, and that's why I have Marcus Simeon at 34. I actually considered putting Simeon a little bit higher because if you look at his numbers last year, the dude honestly might have been a top 5 player just from last year. Like you don't see people hitting like 300 with 45 bombs and 20 bags often, and let alone second baseman. So I think he's a prime.
In the AL, he got third in MVP voting. He went Shohei, Vlad, Simeon. So
yeah, and I think he's a prime target for regression. But if his regression is hitting 30 bombs instead of 45 or 32 and hits like 270 to 290 still, you're going to be really happy because he's also going to get you a few stolen bases every now and then. I expect those to kind of trickle down as he gets older as well, but still a really solid player with a very high floor.
I agree. All right, who you got at 34?
I had Simeon at 34, so you are up.
34, I have Brandon Woodruff. You had him a bit higher.
Yeah, I had him at 27. So we're not too far off.
I like him in that Brewer staff. He's not too old, and he should be putting up good numbers this year.
This one's a little bit of a controversial, coming at 35. Zach did not like this one at all. I have Tyler O'Neill. He's honestly, maybe if you look back at 2021, he's probably one of the biggest breakouts from 2021. The dude slashed 286 with 34 homers and 15 bags. That's what all this hype on Buxton for a full season. That's probably what you're hoping to get from Buxton in a full season. And Tyler O'Neill did that last year. The injury concerns are not as serious with O'Neill, so I kind of pair him in that Buxton. Him and Buxton are just really explosive upside with high speed and decent power. So I like them both.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with the numbers. It'd be a little bit of a risk, but we'll see what happens. 35, I have Austin Riley. He really put it together last season, still really young. I know you compared him to Devers. I don't think he's on that level yet, but I still like the comp. And yeah, 35, Austin Riley. We got at 36.
I'm at 36. I have Eloy. He's someone who I was really high on heading into last year. I was considering picking him around 20 in our dynasty last year. So getting him at this discounted price after, honestly, I just chalked Eloy's season up to a wash last year. He's coming off injury. And I believe like the first week he was back from injury, he was like the best hitter in baseball and just absolutely like went ham right around that time of the Field of Dreams game. So I'm still high on Eloy. Love the upside and the age. Just another pure hitter who's probably going to do a little bit of everything but steal for you. So.
Yeah, we'll see how he bounces back from the injury, and he's still in that stacked White Sox lineup. So I have him on this list as well. 36, I have Arenado. People forget that he was like a top 5 pick. I know he was in Colorado, but he still got that talent. He's going to be playing every day because his defense is going to keep him on the field. So yeah, Arenado at 36.
Coming at 37 for me, I have Corey Seeger, someone you had a little higher. I do like the move to Texas. I think he's going to do just fine there. Just a solid shortstop. And, beginning of last year, he was an early favorite for MVP. The dude was raking early. Just love the overall bat skills with Seeger.
I like it. 37, I have Max Fried. I believe this is a little higher than he's generally ranked, but in the second half of last season, he was one of the best pitchers in the league. I think him and Scherzer were playing the two best in the NL down the stretch. So I like Fried, still young, should be in his prime.
Coming in at 38, I have Teoscar Hernandez, my worst nightmare. He single-handedly eliminated me from the playoffs. He hit like 4 nukes and like 3 grand slams in like the final weekend and just really ruined my season. So Teoscar is an absolute beast in a really good lineup, and he surprisingly steals a little bit of bags too. So love me some Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere a couple of years ago. I think in that 2020 season, he's just been hitting bombs ever since.
Yeah, he's another baseball savant darling. He's got some solid numbers in the savant. So if you're a big savant guy, Teoscar might be for you.
All right, 38, I have Sandy Alcantara. I'm surprised he hasn't put up as good of numbers as he can so far, but I think that's good because you can buy him low and filthy stuff. And he gets a surprising amount of quality starts. He was one of the NL leaders in quality starts last year. So I expect him to break out, maybe even like a potential Cy Young candidate.
Yeah, I agree. Sandy's got all the stuff. He just needs to put it together. I have at my 39, I have Freddie Peralta. Just haven't had the third head monster, that Brewer staff yet. I think he's solid. Thinking about it, I feel like him and Sandy are pretty comparable. You're gonna have to make that decision on draft day. They're both in that same tier of pitchers. And yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe in a few weeks I would be going Sandy over Peralta, but right now I got Peralta ranked a little higher, so we'll see.
Yeah, they're definitely comparable though. For my 39, I have Trevor Story. We'll see where he ends up. He might not put up as high of offensive numbers when he most likely leaves Colorado, but he still gets some stolen bases too. And I know that he takes pride in that. And like if you listen to a Trevor Story interview, he does not want to stop stealing bases. So that's big. And then 40, I also have Freddie Peralta, so just one behind you.
At my 40, I have your child, Carlos Correa. I think you're reaching a little bit. I'm not doubting that the upside or potential's there, but I'm just going to take the people who put up better average, better homers, and actually steal bases over him. So that's why I have Correa down here under guys like even Corey Seeger and Marcus Simeon. So
Fair enough.
Until I see your video, maybe it'll change my mind. But till then, got Correa.
Hey, I just got a feeling, okay? 41, I got Pete Alonso, your guy. He has the potential to hit. He's hit 53 before, so he has that 50 home run potential. I know it's not super likely. You can never assume a guy's going to hit 50 bombs, but he still has that home run potential. So
yeah, I mean, I'll say this: Pete Alonso put up a pretty solid 2021. I feel like people are sleeping on the 260, 37 bomb season. You can't really ask for much more. Not to mention the second half, he had 275. So maybe he figured something out a little bit in the second half, and maybe that higher average carries over into next year. At 41, I have Jared Kalanick. I'm not ready to just let the Kalanick ship sink. I think the MLB adjustment takes a little bit of time, and it's different for everybody. Even the great Mike Trout was awful when he first started. So I still like the upside on Kalanick. I'm definitely not as high on him as I used to be. That's why I'll throw him in this range, because these guys, you're taking risks. You're taking people you think have that upside to be second rounders or third rounders. So
okay, well, first of all, I would appreciate it if you never compare Jared Kelenic to Mike Trout ever again. I think that was kind of disrespectful.
I'm not comparing their playing. I'm comparing that it takes time to adjust to the big leagues. Mike Trout.
I think Mike Trout just showed up and was a stud.
I think you're wrong.
Okay. 42, I have. You're not going to like this. I like it. 42, I have Jose Altuve. Second base.
The self-love is out of control.
The man, carried my team last year.
To last place, dog.
7.
You can't get carried. No, you got last. You're on the drums. You can't get carried by a 4'11" person. All right, it just doesn't work. As I get the
5'5", and Jose Altuve, his average has dipped, and as his average has dipped, his home runs have just gone up. The man at second base still hits home runs. I know he's a little older. He's a very talented player, and I would buy low on Jose Altuve.
I agree with the whole buying low, but you're not buying low on Altuve, picking him in the third or fourth round at all. You're buying extremely
That's
high.
My rankings. You can pick him 80th, 90th overall in a keeper league.
Oh yeah, I'm not coming at your right to rank him. I'm saying the whole buy low on him is you actually draft him where he goes.
So I think he's the 42nd best keeper. So if I pick him 80th or 90th overall, that's his buying.
Okay. I thought you were advising people to pick him. 40th, basically.
I think you can get him at a better spot.
Yeah, I agree.
For the
Okay.
value.
All right. Glad we're on the same page. Coming in at my 42, I finally have Trevor Story. I think the numbers will regress a little bit. He's getting older, leaving Coors, but I think he has a chance to kind of find that passion again when he goes to a contender. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah. 43, I have Julio Yurious, guy that put up 20 wins last year. Still in that Dodgers rotation. A young guy, and his confidence ever since he closed out that World Series in 2020 has been sky high. So I like Yurious.
At my 43, I have another big bounce back candidate. I have Alex Bregman. I follow the dude on the gram. He's always putting in that work. It's very rare I don't see an Instagram story of the dude in the gym just absolutely getting after it or hitting in the cage. He also has a YouTube channel. It's kind of in its infancy right now, but he does put out a lot of vlogs. So if you like kind of following your players, I think that's kind of fun. Maybe something to check out. See what he's doing this offseason. I think he could bounce back and maybe regain some of that late third round, maybe a little higher value.
Yeah, I like that pick. I mean, he used to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I think he hit what 41 homers or something that one year. As like a
something like that. I think he had back-to-back seasons like that too. So
yeah, and I'm not expecting the home runs to come back, but I'm expecting a solid average with maybe near 30 home runs and just solid day-to-day hit numbers. So
all right, 44. I got Buxton at 44.
Okay, you're
the upsides there, I could very well see drafting him even earlier than this, just for the upside, but it's tough to rank a guy that gets injured so much any higher. So I have him at 44.
That's fair. Finally, at my 44, I finally have Zach Wheeler falling in. We've touched a lot on him, so we're not going to get too much into him, but just we both believe in Wheeler. He's a stud. So
yeah, 45. I have Eloy. You had him a lot higher. It's tough when a guy's out for that long, how he's going to bounce back. But he still is really young and still in that White Sox lineup. So
yeah, definitely. At my 45, I have another big bounce back candidate. I got Francisco Lindor. I think anytime you switch from switch leagues, I think it's a little bit of a tough transition. I mean, Lindor was comfortable. He's facing basically the same pitchers every year. Then all of a sudden he has to switch over to the NL, face new pitchers, new ballpark, new routine. I think Lindor settles in and kind of comes back to that Lindor that we know. And, maybe
I think it's very funny. We always had so many arguments about Lindor, and I left him off my top 50. So
heading into last year, Zach was ready to crucify anyone who didn't rank Lindor number 1 overall.
No, but I had the 10-11 picks, and I was thinking about taking him like number 10. So I was really high on him. And man, the Mets just put a spell on him. It's just some classic Mets stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I think the Mets are going to be really exciting this year. Obviously, I had Pete Alonso ranked really high. And I think that if one of them finds success, it'll help the other one find success as well. I mean, hitting's contagious, and that team is going to win a lot of ball games, especially led by DeGrom, Scherzer. So yeah. Did you say you're 45 already?
Yeah, 45 was Eloy. 46 is Giolito.
Okay.
He's got good stuff. The changeup is one of the best in the league. He's got good velo, and overall just a very solid pitcher. I don't know if you can expect that like top tier stuff out of him, like a Cole Scherzer type numbers, but still a good pitcher.
Definitely. I actually left him out of my list. I think there's some younger pitchers I'd rather take the risk on.
Yeah.
But I think the consistency with Giolito's there is gonna. I think I kind of view Giolito more as a number 2 on your fantasy team. I wouldn't want Giolito as my ace to kind of like hold it down, but I could be wrong. Coming in at 46 for me, This one might be a little controversial as well, but I'm going with Cedric Mullins. I'm
Okay.
ranking Mullins just barely in my top 50. I don't really know what to expect from him at all this next season, but if he puts up numbers like he did last year, he belongs in the top 50. So that's why I'll put him just on the cusp.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. He was a switch hitter and in the early part of his career, ended up switching to just lefty, and maybe that was the key for him. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and a lot of people are a little nervous with the Orioles moving the fence back. I actually did a little research. Mullins never hit a home run to left field last year. Like they were
Right.
literally all pull. So I mean, that really shouldn't affect him at all, unless maybe it takes away one or two that like maybe he could have gotten. I don't know.
That's a very
But
good
but yeah,
insight.
I think his pull he's a pull power hitter and he steals bases. So I think he'll be just fine. Who do you have at 46?
46 was Giolito, but 47 I have Jack Flaherty. I think Giolito and Flaherty are pretty comparable. People put them in the same group because like they went to the same high school and everything, but I think Flaherty might just be a tick behind with the injury issue from last year. But he's got good stuff, power pitcher in a pretty pitcher friendly ballpark.
Definitely, Busch Stadium is definitely a pitcher friendly park. At 37, I finally have Julio Yurious, guy who you had just a little bit higher. Like you said, the confidence has been there since the World Series. I think he's primed for his breakout. Not saying he's going to go out and win a Cy Young, but I wouldn't be shocked for him to finish top 6, top 5 area if he takes that next step. So who do you
Yeah,
have at 38?
48. You're struggling.
Oh, 48. My bad. My
Nah,
bad.
you're good. You're good. I got Matt Olson.
You didn't have
Dude's
Olsen already?
Nah, I got him at 48. I don't know. He's had like one or two really good seasons,
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
yeah, dude, he kind of reminds me of Michael Morse back in the day. He holds his hand out like over the plate and just hits bombs.
Yeah.
But
I might
at a
be a
pretty weak
little,
position. Go ahead.
so I might have a little recency bias on the Olsen pick, but I'm expecting his numbers from last year is the new Matt Olson.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Who you got at 48 or 9, whatever we're on?
48, I finally have Shane Bieber. I'm probably going to get roasted over this one. I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm ready to take the risk on some of these guys who are primed for breakouts over a guy who I think is facing an uphill battle coming back from injuries and already kind of not having the same velo as some of these other guys.
Yeah, 49, I got Randy Rosarina. I think he proved that 2020 playoffs was not a fluke. He is a very good player, talented, and steals
Shout out, yeah,
bases.
boy.
Hmm?
What? I said, shout out, your boy Kendo. Just picked him up in our league.
Oh, yeah. Nice job, Kendo. Who you got at 49?
This is one that I struggle with. I really want to put him higher as I've been pretty high on all the prospects. I got Spencer Torkelson up there. I think the upside's there. There's not outside of Vlad, Olson, Alonso. I'm probably forgetting someone off the top of my head. I don't think there's a ton of depth at first base. So I think having that really young hitter keeper first baseman with, I mean, Torkelson profiles to have that 40 homer power. He set every college record thinkable. So I love Torkelson.
Yeah, 50, rounding out my list, I got Bregman. He's been struggling, but he's shown that he can do it at the top level. So I think he can
Rounding
still try to
out,
put up numbers.
rounding out my list, I finally have Sandy Alcantara. He's probably a guy that if I really, the more I think about it, the more I want to rank him higher because I think he's just primed for a breakout. So I think getting Sandy in my top 50 keeper rankings is where I want him. I'm just struggling kind of where, because I think his ceiling is up there with anyone's, but I think that the floor of a lot of these Freddie Peralta's or Zach Wheeler's is a little bit higher, so that's why I have him at 50 on my list.
Yeah, and before we wrap this up, just a couple guys that were so close to making my list were Kershaw, Teoscar, Torkelson, Kirilloff, Marte, Manoah, and Barrios. So those are a couple guys I'd be fine with putting in my top 50, but they just missed.
Yeah, for me, you mentioned Christian Yelich. It's so weird not putting Christian Yelich in the top 50 just because, I mean, before he blew out his knee or whatever that foul ball did to him, we would have been ranking him in our top 20 easily. So a player who's really fun to watch too when he's playing well. I think baseball's better when Christian Yelich is playing well. So I'm really hoping he kind of takes that step to getting back to that. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of a Yelich resurgence. We'll see.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. That concludes our 3-part series on the top 50. Let us know if you want us to kind of round out the top 100. We might look to do that further down the road. Stay tuned. But yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be moving into our individual position rankings for one-year leagues and dynasty leagues in the next few days, and maybe also venturing into some kind of player profile videos, people you should be considering for the draft. Zach, any final words?
I enjoyed my time here on a Cup Check podcast today, and maybe we will come out with a 51 through 100. I might have to lock myself back in Starbucks and grind out another list, so we'll see.
Sounds like a plan. All right, thank you everybody for watching. Have a good one.